Yeah. I want to welcome y'all to the unfit podcast. Let's get it. Just sit back and let it breathe. We coming with more heat. You only get one shot. You shady or maybe not. You capping, we laughing. We on a mission. Now listen, we making statements and stating some of opinions and some of fact. So sit back and just relax. All the bull don't get no slack. We bringing it back to back with a swag and a class act. It's levels to this, and the truth will show who your friends are. That hate you won't get far. So be great. Let's debate. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm Arthur J.
And I'm Tori Sedale.
And we back with another episode. We want to welcome y'all to the Arthur J and Tori TV podcast. We want to thank y'all for tuning in, man. Let's get into it, man. Y'all see the title, man. This is a good one, man. I want to get right into this, man, because, you know, of course, it's going to always ruffle some feathers, and we don't always try to do that, but if it does, it is what it is, man. Toxic role models, man. I want to touch on this, man, because a lot of times we always hear about role models, that, you know, the term role models. I've had people come up to me and just say, wanting me to be a role model to their nephew or their son or what have you. And I've seen in life where different people, they try to step in as a role model, as a stepdad or stepmom, or be a role model as a father or as a mother. So many different role models, but people never really time in. They never really time in on the role model, the toxic role models. Sometimes you can be a toxic role model, you know, in other words, a bad influence on your kids. You know, before I tie you right into it, man, my thoughts on it is that it's just as bad when the father is not even there. Because as a mother, we're going to start with that. When you are in the household and you are a toxic role model, you got all these toxic traits. It's gonna I'll just say trickle down to the daughter or the son in so many different ways. They're gonna look at you on what you do, and they're gonna really mimic what you do. So if you're a toxic role model, you're not a good role model, obviously. How you think they're gonna take that and run with it? How you think they're gonna grow up with that in them, and how they're gonna view it and how they're gonna execute it? I want to tie you right in on that.
And it's like this. And I know it's easier to say, well, if he would have been there or he should have been there, which is true. That's not what we're saying. But in this case, that don't make you fit to be a good role model just because the child is in the house with you. And like I said, I know you could just say, oh, he should be here anyway, so it's partially his fault. No, but this is what the kid got. You there. You know what I'm saying? And half of the time the kid is, whether it be boy or girl, mimics the mother. You know what I'm saying? So everything you do, just because you in the household with the child, raising the child, don't make you a good fit to be a role model. That's why so many kids are picking TV figures. You know what I'm saying? Because the figure they actually got, it's nothing to achieve there.
That's a good point, man. And it's just so important for people to just really be careful of that, you know. And there's so many opinions. People may be like, well, why y'all talking about this, man? It's because it's so important. Like, so many people go through that. It bothers me. And so many men, let's just be real. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. There's so many men go through a situation where they're not in the household. And even the deadbeats. Yeah. As much as we can get on them and say what we say, even as men, us men who are in our kids' life, it bothers us just as much as the mothers have to go through it. However, just because you in the household with the child don't make you less toxic.
Exactly.
It don't make you a better role model because you are raising them, or they there with you. Because you still have to teach them. You still have to show them, you know, what a role model, a true role model really look like.
Exactly.
You still got to make sure that you don't have no kind of toxic act in your household that they can carry with them and have the excuse of, my mama do this. So a lot of people don't want to hear these things, but it's so meaningful, and it's so it's something that you need to really hold on to and really just take the truth wherever it lay. I want to tie you
exactly.
right in on that, man. How you
Yeah.
feel about being in the same household or being so comfortable, feeling like the kids are with me as far as the mother. So I'm doing everything, you can't say nothing about me type of attitude. How you feel about that?
That's a negative because I'm always say what's right and what's wrong. But at the end of the day, it's not one of those things that is a given because you're in the household and you're the mother. It's not a given that you'll be a good mother. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I see it. Just like y'all could point the finger at how bad a dad could be. Man, it's some bad mothers out there, period.
Let's talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, quick story. I started dating somebody a long time ago just cause they started twerking in front of their young daughter face and the daughter started doing it. I was like, oh, I'm out because you know how many girls I got. And that is not no role model. We not asking no woman to replace their mother. They got a mother, but you got to be some kind of role model for my children to look up to, my daughters. So I was out, bro. Because it's not a given just cause that in that particular child was with that mother. Like the dad was, you know what I'm saying, whatever was going on with them, but she had her kids. Just cause you have your kids don't make you a good mother.
And that happens all the time, man. I just hope people put emphasis on that because it's so many men that go through that, and women don't like us to talk like this, and we try to be as fair as we can because we go hard on the men and we go hard on the women. We just call it how we see it. Right is right and wrong is wrong, and we also giving our opinion, so you always can disagree with it. But however, it's so many men go through different traits where they're not in the household like we said, and you have single mothers out there when they're looking for a man. One of the things that they'll say and they'll really reiterate, they'll say, hey, I want a man that's going to be a role model. It's going to be a good role model. And here it is. You got all these toxic traits, but you expecting such a big role model out of me. What the hell you think I'm expecting? What do you think I'm expecting, being that I'm a father and I especially have a daughter and she see you twerking?
Exactly.
She see you carrying yourself in a way that's not a good role model for her. What you think I'm going to think?
It falls right back into the men don't supposed to do this or have an opinion. It falls right back onto the what do you bring to the table question. Because if this is what you bringing, I'm looking at you. I'm good on that.
You're expecting so much from me.
I'm good on that.
But you expect me to expect less from you. Let that breathe. Like, where do that make sense? Where they do that at? Man, we're going to get right into unfit parenting. It's so many opinions that we can give with this. And it's so many things that's objective because when somebody may feel like, well, that's just your opinion. That don't make me an unfit mother, unfit father. So of course we can have our own opinions. But I think a lot of times we get so caught up into traditional and what everybody else is doing. What I mean by that is we're buying them things or they eating. They got Jordans on their feet. They got, they go to school. We tell them do their work. Tell them do this. Tell them do that. But when you get to the meat, into the nitty gritty of the examples and the teaching of what they're looking at and what they're seeing through you, because we can tell, like I've had to catch myself times telling my daughter something or expectations from my daughter, and I had to challenge my own self as a parent. It's like in my opinion, the biggest teacher that you can ever have, whether you're a preacher, whether you're a teacher in school, or whether you're a parent, is living what you talk about. I hate to see a rapper not live what he is talking about. I hate to see a preacher be a hypocrite. I hate to see a parent be a hypocrite. So it's one of those things that it hurts. I know a lot of people looking right now like, wow. Yeah, as a parent, when you are living what you're teaching your kids, regardless if they go astray, regardless if they don't want to listen, regardless if they have their attitudes, because you know how kids will be kids, you still know you're doing your part as a parent. I can live with the fact of how things end up that may make me disappointed. I can live with that a lot more with knowing I did my part than to know that I contribute to their downfall. Because if they down, if they fail in life, because you can always get back up. But if you fail in life and you did your part, you know there's only so much you can make them do. They the one that got to walk through the door. What T.I. said on the movie ATL, he said, I couldn't walk for you when you was a kid, and I sure can't walk for you now. A lot of the things that we teach our kids and we trying to show our kids, we can't do it for them. They got to be the one to do it. So I want to tie you right in. How do you feel about unfit parenting, and what are some examples that you in your own opinion, what makes a person an unfit parent?
As you touched on, we sometimes we want to give our kids the world, and I'm not saying it's a super bad thing and unfit, but make them work for something. You know what I'm saying? Stop making it seem like it's supposed to be given. It's a given that you're entitled to something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make them work for it. Yeah, we don't want them to come out or go through some of the hardships that we had to, but hey, man, at the end of the day, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because I'm pretty sure your parenting and your mom parenting or whoever got y'all this far. Now we get so far from saying we struggling to show that, oh, look at them Jordans. Like, my daughter asked me, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, I think she might have been 5 or 6, some kind of age that I know she was going through it. She asked me to buy some $200 some Jordan, and I was like, for what? You don't even know who Jordan is. Who is Michael Jordan? You ain't never seen him play. So I'm not gonna give you something just because you think it's supposed to be given. You know what I'm saying? I'll make you work for something that you actually want, but at the end of the day, it's just, just being able to give your kids things don't make you, make it fit or make it right. You know what I'm saying? So,
man, I'm glad you brought it up, because a lot of people hear you say that, and they'll miss the point that you was making. By any means, do what you want to do with your kids.
Exactly.
But in this world, just like when we was coming up, we've been there. But in this day and time, kids don't feel like they have to earn nothing.
Yeah.
They feel like you supposed to give them $200 and some shoes. Like, that's just a must.
And that's just the
and
parent.
Don't even earn nothing.
Now, when you get on the parent, when you get to Joe Blow who don't know you, you think you entitled to something, and that person don't give you that. Now, how dare they? Because it's your mindset where you started from the unfit part.
But the two people in the back.
And that's just real.
Man, that's something that you really need to people need to really understand, that, like, it's so much experience of being a brat or being selfish that happens with the kids that a lot of people don't want to talk about. Is because all these years of you saying, yes, you can have this, you can have this, you can have this, or getting away with this or getting away with that. The minute that you say no, they looking at you like, you said yes all these years, and now you want to say no. That's just like a baby. You when a baby is a baby, you holding the baby, and you letting every time you just want to pick up the baby. Every time the baby, on every little thing, the baby make noise or cry. Every time the baby cry, when you finally want to not do that, that baby really losing his or her mind, because it's like, you've been doing this. Yep. Or even when they get 2 or 3, you've been just thinking it was funny to be like, oh, he's so bad or she's so bad, and you think it's key when they do that, and then they get 5 or 6, and you just still let them have attitudes, and then they get almost a teenager, and then it's like, now you want to do this big change. It's like, no, life don't work like that.
And that's a good example. You see these videos or reels or whatever with these kids cussing out and all. Yeah, that's cute for that moment. Till he cussing some elderly folks out at 20, 18, 15 years old, 18 years of age. So you just got to be careful, man,
Yeah, man. Let's get right into it, man. Do bad mothers know they are bad mothers? Man, y'all don't be mad at us. Don't be mad at us, man. But it's real. And the reason why we say this, because we can go in on fathers all day long. We are a fair human being. But it comes a time when you just have to, even if you are the opposite gender, go out on a limb and just call the truth the truth. Call a spade a spade. So I want to tie you right in on that. Like, how do you feel about that question? Do bad mothers know they are a bad mother?
It's kind of like do these singers on American Idol know they can't sing for real? Like, who is telling y'all that y'all can sing? Or are y'all really that delusional that you can't
That's
see
real.
that you're a bad mother? And it's like, one example is nobody wants their kid, their daughter. I'm gonna just leave it on daughters to date some man or anybody that can't provide or be a helpmate.
Mm-hmm.
But you teaching your child, your daughter, is all about a bad. You know what I'm saying? You teaching your daughter to love with conditions instead of unconditional love. You know, you got to stop that, man. And that is bad parenting. You think you're doing well because, yes, we don't want our children out there struggling, but to teach them to date somebody or get somebody just because of the materialistic stuff.
Yeah.
And you think that's the goal? No, it ain't the goal. Getting somebody who will take care of you, whether y'all fall down, get up, stay there, stay put, stay strong, and keep moving is what the goal is, not the bag. So stop teaching that, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. I like that you use the example of the American Idol, because people do that, man, in church. They do that all kind of places where they just feel like, you know, they lie to themselves. Like, yeah, I'm this great singer. In their mind, I'm the kind of voice I have, man. I'm the next. I'm the next.
Like Brian
Anita,
McKnight and
I'm the next Anita Baker. More like Anita Faker. like for real, like, man, no, you nowhere close sound good like these great legends, man. But in their mind, they be thinking that. So it really so funny, because as narrowing it down to what we talking about, do mothers know that they're a bad mother? I don't think a lot of them who are bad, the ones who are bad mothers, I don't think majority of them they realize it. I feel like they're stubborn, just like we all in life can be stubborn and be set in our ways. So a lot of times when you set in your ways and you're not willing to change for the best of your ability because that's something you want to do, you're gonna be like that. Now here's this daughter or this son looking at you staying stuck in your ways. What you think they're gonna do?
Yeah.
They're gonna stay stuck in their ways because they see mama staying stuck in her ways.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of accountability that we don't want to take, that we need to realize that when you're aggravated, at that moment when you aggravated, and then you want to come to the Father and be like, hey, blah 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 blah. You waiting until the atomic bomb just exploded.
And want to call me and say, "Can you fix this?"
You could have nipped it in the bud. We had an episode about that. You could have nipped it in the bud a long time ago, but you waited till things got out of hand, and now you aggravated. Now you want to act on things. You have to take accountability just as well as the father who's not there in the household have to take accountability, because you're there. A lot of things get camouflaged of expectations within the household. So you have to realize that it's about you taking accountability, no matter if you're in a household or not, man.
For real now.
And a lot of people just don't want to do that, man. I want to, before we move off this, before we get into the next one, we got like 2 minutes on this. What do you think it's gonna take for these mothers who unaware that they're a bad mother? What do you think it's gonna take for them to realize that, hey, I need to change? It's a real simple question, but it's a powerful question that many people may need to think about.
Really, accountability, looking at the best version of you. And if you're not happy at the reflection that's looking back, then it's some work that needs to be changed, or something need to be changed, because your child is definitely a reflection of their mother, the first person, queen, however you want to put them in their life. You know what I'm saying? The father too, but right now we're talking about who the absent fathers could be gone. It's still on you to be able to raise your child in the right. So, I think is looking yourself in the mirror, evaluating, are you the best? Are you happy with the best version that you see looking back?
Yeah, man. And just real quick before we move on, I'm gonna just add on to that. Stop being comfortable or don't feel like you've gotten to the ultimate of you or the best of you. Always know that there's room for improvement.
Yeah.
There's always, don't settle into just thinking like, okay, I did this, I did that, that's the end. No, it's not the end. There's always room for improvement. Michael Jackson gave an example. He said, I don't like to have my awards in my household and my plaques and all that stuff in the house because it always it would make me get comfortable on my accomplishment. I want to always stay hungry and know there's more that I can do. So let's get right into the next one, man. Is it about the child or are you mad at the man?
That's bad. That's big right there.
Before I tie you right in on this, man, because we can go all day on just this particular thing. Ego with the man, before we get really dive in on the women. Ego with men, as we all suffer with and we all need to do better on, is something that when you can put that to the side for the sake of the child, it goes a long way. Because when you say it's about the child, do you really mean it? When you say, I'm doing this for my child, I'm going to be in my child life, do you know the sacrifices you have to make that's surrounding being in your child life? You have to deal with each other on levels that you wouldn't have to deal with somebody that you don't have a child with. I'm going to say that for the 3 people in the back that might be taking a nap. You have to deal with certain things that you wouldn't have to deal with people who you don't have a child with. So when you have a child with somebody or kids with somebody, you have to realize the sacrifice that it take to be successful as a team to accomplish this championship ring.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tie you right in on that, man.
Man, and it's like this. A lot of stuff that I say on here, in my opinion, I actually experienced or seen somebody close to me. So in this case, I'm going to give an example of my own life. I have a daughter, back when we were still trying to figure this parenting things out. And to go back on, you call me when things are way out of hand. Now, you done seen this stuff happening, but you won't call me. So either you can nip it in the bud or we can adjust or address what's going on with our child. So it gets to a point you super frustrated. Now, it's been going on. You call me about a situation and I say, well, if you just done with her and you can't take it no more, a person's out of control. And I say, hey, let me take over. Let my daughter come stay with me. If you that frustrated, let her, because you would rather not, in my opinion, you'll rather keep on getting your money for child support at this point. You know what I'm saying? You'll rather get the money figuring if I get my daughter what's right for the kid, your money gonna stop. So is it about my daughter being out of control or is it about sticking it to me still? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But half of the time, us men don't think about that. Child support be the last putting you on. We want to do what's best for the child too.
That's real. And a lot of people argue with that, and we welcome everything in the comments. But see, the thing is about it that you got to realize is time after time, just look around. Just as much as you can say it's a lot of deadbeat dads out of there, out in the world, is things that you should pay attention to is what we saying.
Exactly.
Because it's easy to look at the obvious of what you're used to seeing, but the things that, just because you're not used to hearing about it don't mean it don't exist.
Oh, it exists.
It exists all day long,
all
every
time.
day. And time after time, the ones who are in their kids' life have to suffer the most than the ones who are not in their kids' life. Because many times I see fathers who are not there, they already know I'm not going to win that battle on aggravating him because he really don't give a L. But the fathers who are really in their life, they're the one that have to catch hell because we know it bothers him.
Yeah.
We know that he want to be in his child life. He want to be in his kid's life. It's killing him. So that's why we asked the question, we raised the eyebrows of, is it about the child?
Exactly.
Or are you mad as hell at this man?
Yeah. Like it was a movie.
Yeah.
Liar, Liar, Jim Carrey. It was a scene in there that, it was a scene in there that they was at court that she just wanted this millionaire's, her ex-husband, some money. She didn't even want the kids in the beginning of it. She was fighting against that, but once she heard she can get all this money if she keep on hold on to the kid or custodian parent, she was like, I want it all. So it ain't about the kids and their interests on a lot of the women that we're talking about. it's about the dollars, or it's about sticking it to that man, or making his life miserable as possible that you possibly could think of in this instance.
Because after you're done trying to stick it to the man and that get back, you know, I want to have my get back, you know, and just as much as the child is being affected with the father not being there in the child's life, it's just as much as the child is affected with you doing all those toxic things to the man.
Who is it hurting?
Did y'all catch that? Did y'all really catch that? Why is it abstinence make you feel good about what it is you think you're doing, but toxic stuff is you overlook that because you're there, because you're not absent. You are in the present. So people who are in the present, you can have all these toxic traits that get overlooked. But the absent fathers get dogged out all the time across the world since the beginning of time.
Which we saying is wrong, but in this instant, it's bad mothers too.
You got to look at what the child needs and what is best for the child. Kids need to be kids, in my opinion. You know, it's when we adults, we're trying to figure things out. As kids, you have to figure things out for them. You have to train them. You have to teach them. You have to show them the way. You can't do that when you're too busy fighting amongst each other. We all have been there in different kind of ways of disagreements, whether it was high or whether it was low. But what's the end result? That's my thing, bro. What's the end result of us fighting and bickering and just being petty to each other when you have kids or a child in the midst of have to see all that and now the things that we need to focus on, we too busy going at each other till we just miss 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different points, valuable points that we should have just tied in on and just say, hey, they need to do this better, or we need to start breaking them out of this habit. We need to put them into this school, or we need to start saving up for this, or we need so many business talk that we can be having, but we too busy just worrying about our personal feelings about whatever. They got to get old one day.
Exactly.
Still gonna be mad at each other. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna need important things. Important things gonna happen. Things gonna catch you off guard is gonna happen. Lord forbid. But what are you gonna do when the preparation that you should have been prepared for it comes and now you're not prepared because you too busy mad? You have to prepare for the worst.
Exactly.
Expect the best, but prepare for the worst. You know, we can go all day long on this, man. It's just because, ladies, what we saying that
because you go after
just because you're in a household, don't make you a fit mother. Don't make you the best mother in the world. And just because men do things every now and then, or just throw you some money and then bail out, don't make you the best father in the world. It takes different responsibilities of knowing that this is what's needed mentally and physically for my son and my daughter to succeed. All that other stuff, it don't even matter when you get mature in life.
Exactly.
It don't matter.
It's not
because you living your life, I'm living my life when it ain't got nothing to do with the kids. But when it come down to their success and them being able to have help from us figuring things out, because they get to a certain age, they definitely try to figure it out. Especially that teenage year, we can go on and on, but that teenage year is definitely, man, it's a challenge for especially us fathers. So as fathers, you know, we have to continue to step up and play the role that we need to play in. But just because we don't live there, don't mean that we're not playing that role. And just because you living there, don't mean that you're doing everything that is needed for a mother to give to their kids. We can go all day long, man. We want y'all to hit that like button. Please. We want y'all to subscribe and please share, man. We trying to just make this thing bigger and bigger, but we just want y'all to just share, man. We trying to grow. We're gonna bring some guests. We got bigger things we're gonna do. We're gonna show y'all behind the scenes stuff. We want to start going live in front of a live audience, man. 2024 coming, man. We got some big things coming for y'all, man. So just stay tuned, man. I'm Arthur J.
And I'm Taurus the Dale.
And like we always say, till next time, peace.